Okay, thank you, Joe, for leading another great discussion. And hopefully, if you're attending in the during the summer meetings, you might want to pick a day, one of the meetings, and do something similarly. Give it some, but that's again your choice. All right. Let us start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very appropriately, today's speaker, in the paper, we're down to about 0.4% positivity rate. The daily average for COVID deaths is 1, a 7-day average, and hopefully keeps going down and or stays, doesn't go up. So let's hope and pray that we might get through the summer and hopefully into the fall without any spikes, and give us a couple of seconds to reflect on that. Thank you. Again, just our policy still is the same. We're requiring that everybody that comes to any of our events will have been vaccinated or have been tested within 48 hours prior to the activity that they're attending. Face mask wearing, social distancing, number of people allowed, that will be still determined by state requirements, and we will follow that, or even whatever the venue requirements are, we would have to follow that. And that would vary, again, state by state, and in some cases, place by place. But hopefully, I say, we're getting there to getting back to normal. And that last item there, the closer we get back to things being better, the closer we'll be able to meet our October anticipated return to full live meetings. And that's something to look forward to. I think we're all anxious to be together again. The last meeting of the season will be next week. And after that, starting on July 8th, after the holiday week, we'll have our informal 1-hour Zoom meetings. They're not going to be recorded, and they're pretty much non-structured, unless there's some specific announcements that we have to make, or I guess Stu will probably still be pushing his picnic, which comes right after we get back together in September, and enjoy the summer. Next slide, please. Today's speaker, backed by very popular demand, and we'll get a update on where we are with the pandemic medically. And we had Dr. Parry, it was about 6 months ago or so, when things were starting to look a little better, but still in the very early stages of recovery. We've come a long way since he was here last, and hopefully we'll hear where we're headed in the next 6 months or so. So please, our best attendance was when Dr. Parry was here last. So stay around, and we'll get some official information on COVID and any other subjects that Dr. Parry wants to bring up. Stu?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, Dr. Parry was last here in October. Today is going to talk about the current state of the pandemic, the course of COVID-19 in recent months, the threat posed by the variants and mutations that we've been hearing about. In fact, I think this morning was announced about the variant that came from India. It's becoming a problem here in the United States, and the effectiveness of administration of the vaccine. So those are things that we'll be talking about this morning. I'll probably repeat some of that when I introduce him to the crowd. Can you flip the next slide, please? Yeah, good. Next week, last week, final week of the season, Amy Spatella will be the moderator for several doctors from Stamford Hospital. Be talking about lung cancer screening. It's an important topic. Actually hit home with me. I took a CAT scan last week, and I wanted to see a pulmonologist. That's what one of these guys is. Just to wet your whistle a little bit for next year, we have the September sessions, as Joe mentioned, are all going to be on Zoom. And what will be, just to give you a clue, the first few are a guy who wrote a book on Bernie Madoff. That should be particularly interesting, I think. Another very interesting topic is called complicity of the bystander. I heard this guy make this presentation. It's really insightful to what people don't do when they see something. He's got a whole bunch of things to talk about that. We'll be hearing from an FBI undercover agent in September. He'll talk about the Gambino family that he was intimately involved with. Trying to get Jim Himes here, work in process. And lastly, not lastly, but the last that I'll tell you about now is the gal who's the president emeritus of the Connecticut University, and she'll be here to talk about some perspectives of what's going on currently then. So that's the story for right now and for the first month or so of September. So thank you very much, and Joe, back to you.
Thank you, Stu. Ira.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody can enjoy the beautiful weather today. It is absolutely gorgeous. Everybody's received the minutes, I trust, from last week. We had an attendance of 51. I have not received any corrections or additions, so I'm going to turn it over to Joe to cast one vote of approval for the whole group, and we can proceed from there.
So approved, Ira. Again, thank you for a great job doing the minutes every week. And I know it's tedious, but at least we have a record of where we've been and what's going on. Thank you again, Ira.
Thank you.
Howie.
Good morning, everyone. For next week, our final 920 for the season, we have Emily Boothroyd. She will discuss money matters, and I know this is a subject that might be of interest to everyone here. Next slide, please. Tai Chi is still available. Carl, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, we're continuing to meet every Monday. Our goal is to continue in July and August. So anybody interested in who hasn't signed up that wants to try it, please let me know, because our goal is to try to have the group continue to meet through the summer. And that's all I have. Have a great day.
Thank you. Next, please. Walk in the park. More and more people are enjoying it. Next week on the 23rd, it's a walk in Irwin Park in New Canaan. I've been there. It's been lovely. If I didn't play golf on Wednesdays, I'd be out there walking with them. It's a very nice thing. Everyone should join them. Thank you. Next. Fishing trip. Bill, would you like to talk about it? Bill McGurr?
Unmute yourself, Bill. The little red microphone, just click on it.
I did. Am I okay now?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate it very much. I just want to advise everybody. I was talking to the captain, and he said, Bill, really, we're starting to hit the beautiful fluke. And that's why we're going out in June versus July, because he suggested June was the best month for us. And in case anybody doesn't know, it's Wednesday, June 23rd. $60 includes rod, reel, bait, and mate's help with your catch. And we're meeting at the Irish Pub. It's again open, McShane's Irish Pub, right on Portchester Avenue. It's 2 blocks from where we park our car for the boat. And we really need a few more people. I have 11 currently. And last year with the pandemic, we could not have more than 10, but they have really relaxed the code. So I'd like, they can take up to 20 now with the COVID being relaxed. So I'd like to get us up to around 15. It makes it more beneficial to the captain, and it gives us still plenty of room between fishermen on the boat. So I'm looking to get about 4 more. I've contacted people that were with us last year, and I know Arcady was the great catcher of the fish last year. He had about 15 or 20 small. And the year before, Bozzaro, Sandra caught the great big striped bass. So they're out there. You never know what you're going to get when you put the hook in the water. Even our great fisherman, Bob Butke, got a beautiful fluke. So I hope you fellas will consider it, and please call me. I'd like to get more than just the 11. And you know, health is an issue. 1 or 2 might drop out. So that's why I'd like to get us with at least 15. So I need 4 more fishermen. Anyone who would like to come, you're guaranteed a good day out in the fresh air, away from any COVID consideration, just breathing in sunshine with a bunch of good fishermen. Thank you very much. Thanks, Howie.
Bill, did you want to show that video?
Yes, do you have it?
I'm going to give it a shot
Okay.
if I can figure out how to get to it.
This is a video that addresses the issue that when you put that simple hook in the water, you're never quite certain what you're going to get.
Yeah, I should have queued it up before.
Oh, that's all right, Carl.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, man. You see Sandra with that great, beautiful, beautiful striped bass. Okay, so please call me so I can relax and know that we've hit the mark of 15. I need 4 fishermen. Anybody for the first time will love it. A great day on the water with comrades. Thank you very much. Thank you, Carl. That's good, Howie.
Brian, you want to talk? Brian, you with me? Okay.
Yes, I didn't know enough to unmute myself.
Do you
Just
know
for a
which end to
second,
hold on the golf club?
what's that?
Do you know which end to hold on the golf club?
You wouldn't know it by my score.
You're great, Howie.
Again, it's Monday, June 28th. Howie has already promised perfect weather. We're all looking forward to it. You got to make sure you get there by the start time is 7:45 a.m. So we want to have everybody there. Howie, what, about 7 o'clock or 7:15?
Yeah, please start checking in around 7:15 so you can get loose.
Yep.
At our age, you guys checking maybe about 5:15 to get loose.
Yeah, we'll have calisthenics at 6 a.m. for anyone who's interested. Howie will lead that.
Just for a point of reference, if you don't mind, excuse me, Brian, the luncheon, the appetizers will be served at 12:15 and the main courses will be served at 12:45. So you guys will have enough time to go back to your cars, put your clubs away and get your arses up those steps, so you'll do fine. We still have room for more. Come join us.
That's it.
Oh, excuse me. Sometime in between now and next week's meeting, the players will receive a list of teams with the captains marked And I hope to have the starting holes on it. I'm waiting to hear back from Paul on that. At the Sterling. Thank you. Brian, anything else?
That's it.
Thank you. Next slide, please. Larry, take over.
Yeah, okay, the luncheon is at Rock Rimmon on Wednesday, June 30th. $50 a person, check-in at 11:30 a.m. Lunch served at noon, sport jackets are optional. We are still at 99 people. Like to get it up to 100, so if any of you who are on this meeting would like to attend and have not already made a reservation, please feel free to do so by emailing me. Tell me whether you want chicken, salmon, or steak, and also state that you've been vaccinated and your spouse has been vaccinated. And then you can send me a check and I'll respond to email with the address. So 99, let's get it to 100 and we're good to go.
Larry, can I ask one question?
Yes, Bill.
Is it table service or is it self-service?
Table service.
It is table service. Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Larry. Stu, would you like to talk about the great picnic we got coming up?
I would love to talk about the great picnic coming up, and we're going to try to beat Larry's 99, get at least 100, maybe 120 to the picnic on September 3rd. As you can see, the cost is still $25, and appreciate sending the checks to me as soon as possible. So far, I only have 10 checks, which only represents about 11 or 12 people. So come on, guys, send me your checks for $25 or $50, depending upon who you're bringing. And I'll have a great time. It'll be September. The weather will be terrific. And hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Stu, are you still collecting checks, going to collect checks at the luncheon, as you indicated last week?
Yeah, I was going to not mention it today to try to get people to mail the checks, but kind of blew it. I was going to mention it next week. There's a big plea to bring them check because it's close by. So yeah, you can send them or bring them. I just would like to get as many ahead of time for the last meeting, a good count, but whatever. Thanks.
Stu,
Yeah.
if you take a look at the bottom left of the slide, you will see the Breslow, half of the Breslow Funch team that destroyed the Bartello, and I don't remember who Joe's partner was, in bocce ball, which Carl and I had never played before, but we outstanding.
Yeah, we're going to have that again. Everything we don't normally do, we're going to do.
It's a lot of fun.
Yep. Okay,
All right,
next.
thanks, Stu. Next slide, please. Okay, off to my partner.
Carl, you're up.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Do we have any guests or visitors on our Zoom meeting this morning? Either they're muted or there's no one here, but we did get a new member, Pete Silver, send me his application. Haven't received his check yet, but I'm sure that's on its way. And he was referred by Ed Roloff. Ed recruited Pete for us, and Pete's the 6th new member of the year. Welcome to Pete, and thanks to Ed. Also, I'd like to make good use of your summer period to try and locate your name tag, to which most of you have affixed your anniversary pins. We've got so many people backlogged on the awards here that I'd like everybody to return their old pin to get their new pin. And that'll be at our first meeting, which I believe is first in-person meeting, which we expect to be around October 7th. As you can see from this slide, there's an enormous list of people that have pins, and well, except for the people with the 5-year anniversaries. And it would certainly help if everybody turned in their old pin for it and exchange it for their new pin, just so we don't have to go out and buy additional pins for the organization. So please locate your pins and be ready to swap them out in October if your name is on this list. This list goes through the month of October, so we'll be up to date completely if we get all the people on this this list to show up and for the exchange. Thank you very much.
Okay,
David.
fellowship. I know that we have a number of graduations, a number of trips. Who wants to share some news with us? Steve Fisher, I know that you have a graduation hot off the press. Can you tell us about it?
That's my youngest grandchild is graduating or just about graduating from elementary into middle school. So she did some presentation today for her class on guide dogs for the blind. That was part of their graduation setup. I have another granddaughter that's graduating high school and will be heading to University of Michigan. 3 more that are in school or college, and 1 going into a senior year at high school. So we're full up.
Oh, that's great.
Sure sounds like it. All good news.
Yeah.
Who else has news to share? Well, I've got some good news. We're gonna get a visit from our daughter and son-in-law this weekend. It'll be the first time we've seen them in about 15 months due to COVID, and they've got their vaccination, so we're all good to go and looking forward to that. Arcady? Arcady, you're muted. Anybody else while we're waiting for Arcady to unmute? Okay, well, go back to the other one, Carl, please. So as Joe said, next week will be our last meeting. So I would ask that any of you who come up with news during the July-August break that would benefit from my follow-up, please let me know during the summer, either by phone listed here or email, fellowship@stanfordsmen.com. Next slide. And again, members who would appreciate a call, they always appreciate hearing from you. Give them a call when you get a chance.
I think Arcady's unmuted.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. So I just wanted to express my gratitude to Joel Brest, because he explained to me what happened with the American educational system in colleges, where freedom of speech is actually suppressed. Now only one point of view is allowed. And he explained to me that what happens, that boards, college boards hire to work on only people with the same opinion. So that's why it become one.
Good morning, sunshine.
One line.
I'm fine.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Arcady. Much appreciated. So that's all I've got. Joe, back to you.
Thank you, Dave. Dick is not here today, so he asked me to fill in, and as the slide says, on June 23rd meeting of the book club, we'll discuss spying on the South by Tony Horowitz, which I guess was the story of Olmsted, who was the architect of many parks in Chicago, World's Fair, Central Park, and etc. So I guess this was prior to his activities with that in the Civil War. And on September 15th, the discussion will be on the book Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. And I think what Dick said is they're going to decide by probably next week the title of the book for October, so that during the summer you can get your reading in and be ready for the book club discussions. Okay, Carl.
Before the pandemic, we had a group, we actually had two groups of people from SMAS who were helping out at the New Covenant Center by serving hot lunches to the guests there. This is a view of the current state of the cafeteria. The dining room is closed, and what we're doing is bag lunches are being served to the people, being handed out the door to avoid any congregation of people and a possible transmission of the COVID virus. So we currently have enough people for two groups, be the second Monday and the third Monday of, we'll be starting in July. And I invite anybody else who'd like to volunteer. One or two more people would give us the chance to take on an additional Monday. And anybody who's interested should please contact me. As I said, what we're doing is we're assembling the lunches. People have been preparing sandwiches and forwarding snacks and fruit and things like that, and we'll just be putting them all into bags. And then the full-time staff of the New Covenant Center will be actually interfacing with the guests. So this is a completely safe environment, and those people involved will be wearing masks. The other volunteers and anybody interested should please contact me at the phone number or my email shown at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Carl. Carl, are we getting recognized on that as SMAS volunteering group?
Yes, we're all doing it under the name of SMAS.
Okay, great. That's just another, thing that we, get our name out there and get some good free publicity, and hopefully,
And we've all
continue
been wearing our hats when we show up.
Good. We can get some, hopefully we'll get back and maybe in September or October, I got to find out if they can use us then. We'll try and get in the day of service to the city. Recognition for what they do for us with the picnic concessions. Concerts on the Green. Dave, I know you spoke about it last week. Do you still want to? Unmute yourself, Dave.
So, we were in touch with Debbie Sophia before she left, and she reiterated that they're going to have the full performance schedule on the Green as they have in past years. I've attended several of these. The Carillon concerts are great, and of course the band's a bit more lively, upbeat, and a good time. And it's outside, fresh air. If you're available on those dates, certainly plan to attend, and you can look on the church's website for that information as well. It's just a matter of showing up. There's no RSVPs required.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, items for discussion. I have one. Joe D. Are you still taking, you mentioned a while back you were taking a supplement for back pain and inflammation. Are you still doing that?
Yes. What I'm taking is something I saw on TV called Relief Factor. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And I have to give it a mixed review. The very first day that I took it, I felt like a little bit better. And I thought maybe it was my imagination. Over the next couple of days, it was not my imagination. It really worked fantastically well. And I had 2 or 3 months of complete relief, no pain. Then I started taking the pain came back. And so I increased it from 2 or 3 doses a day to 3 or 4. And for a month, very little improvement. But then over the last 10 days, it started working again. I have to add that at all times, I took some Advil or Motrin, but not a lot of it, like 2 or 3 a day, which is well within the prescribed limits. Over the last 8 days, I've actually started walking a mile a day, and which I was unable to do prior to that, except for that 2 or 3 month period when I started on Relief Factor the first time, and it worked so well. I could walk a mile at that time, but now I can walk a mile. After at the half mile point, I probably have to sit down and rest for 5 minutes, but then I can get back up and walk the second half of the mile. So I've had a good response with that in general.
Great. Once you get to walking the mile, you can go back to smoking Camels.
Right. That was my father's favorite cigarette. He took it until he was like 85 years old. And then he forgot that he smoked, so we didn't bring him any more cigarettes. So he went off cold turkey without knowing it.
Joe,
That was
it's
my
Ira.
brand.
Repeat what you were taking.
Oh, it's called Relief Factor. And if you Google it, you'll come up with, make sure.
Relief
it's
Doctor?
Pardon?
Relief Doctor?
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Joe, do you know what the active ingredients are?
There's 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them. And one of them is fish oil, and the others, they're all, you'll find out on the website. And and they're all natural ingredients. So, you can't take too much of it. No side effects that I ever became aware of.
Joe and Adriana, this
Yeah.
call, Bill had wanted me to show a video, and I think I might be able to share the video now if everybody's
Great.
still interested.
Go ahead.
Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Past history does not promise future results.
Wow.
Wow.
Reloader.
I believe Dr. Parry has joined us.
Okay, great. Dr. Parry.
Morning.
Good morning. Are you ready to commence?
I'll be ready in about 5 minutes.
Okay, great.
Thank
All right, we're still on items for discussion. So does anybody have anything to bring up? Lloyd?
I'm in a meeting right now.
Yes, on release factor.
I call you back.
And you have to remember, that's not a FDA approved or
Okay, thank you.
disapproved or anything. They don't have nothing to do with it. So it's very, very important that you start something like that with all kinds of ingredients, is to check it with your regular doctor to make sure that there's no ingredients that will interfere with your regularly prescribed regimen of medicines.
JD, does taking that release factor with a glass of scotch help in any way?
I highly recommend the glass of scotch. I think that may work even better than the relief factor. You may still you may still have a pain, but you don't give a damn.
Oh, God. That reminds me, I had an abscess. I was like 18 years old, and then I had a dental abscess, and my mom said, swash it out with some whiskey, and so we had the scotch, and I swashed it out, and it didn't help. So I said, "Why swish it?" So I drank it, and 3/4 of a bottle later, and 8 o'clock in the morning, I still had the abscess, I still had the pain, but I didn't care. Then went to the dentist, and he finally did the right thing.
I see Lloyd's hand is up. Does he want to say something?
Lloyd again?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have dropped my hand.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
Does anybody have any jokes?
Yeah, I'll give you a little thought here. I mean, since we're going to hear about the virus, I just wanted everybody to know that I have great confidence in the Pfizer vaccine. Just remember, they make Viagra, and if they can raise the dead, they can certainly help the living.
Alan, unmute. Yeah.
Got it. Good morning. You guys remember Mae West? Well, I was reading a book about Mae West, and she had a Broadway show that was very, very successful that they made into a movie called My Little Chickadee with W.C. Fields. But while she was on the Broadway show, she used to have young men visit her after each performance, and that was a euphemism that they used, that these men would visit with her. So one day she told her producer that I really had it. I had a very busy day. I'm really, really tired. If anybody comes to visit me after the show, please just send them home. Well, sure enough, 10 minutes after the show, there's a knock on her door. Miss West, we got 10 young men out here who would like to visit with you. He said, I told you I'm really very tired. Please send one of them home.
Thanks, Alan.
Okay, I'm ready to go when you guys are.
Okay.
Okay. Did you start